Sorry guys, we got another good one today. I want to talk about some things that are going on within Genshin community, or not really community, but just the game overall. Some milestones have been set, and then there have been some good articles that's actually been talked about that's been bringing up some good points as far as the deconstruction of Genshin Impact. So basically, we're going to be looking at what's up with Genshin, exactly what's happening with the game overall, how the game became to be, what we can expect in the game in the future, like it's the success of the game, and what this can mean for mobile games in the future as a whole. So there's a couple of things here that I want to bring up to you guys' attention. First thing first, let's talk about this. So Genshin Impact surpassed $1 billion in player spending in less than 6 months following its launch, marking it the fastest mobile game to reach that milestone. It's absolutely insane. This game's been killing it as far as how much money people have been spending. These numbers are over exceeding too. They're just showing the number of character revenues here, the sources. 15.5 million for Zhongli, 9.1 for Albedo, 14.8 million for Ganyu, 15.1 million for Zhao, and then Hu Tao is at 12.9 million. That was March 2nd. So I don't know if that was the date she ended. I think that's a pretty early number. I think she beat that too. But in the Venti numbers, if you've seen the other charts and stuff that people have been making, the charts for Venti as far as the rerun are skyrocketing. That character has made so much money for Mihoyo. Cannot believe how much money the rerun is actually making. So pretty cool that, you know, that's actually being published out, that people are getting these numbers and stuff, and we can actually see exactly how much the company is getting. It says sources are single day player spending estimates for app and Google Play following the release of the new character. So remember, these numbers are shown right here. This sensor tower is just the mobile version of the game. It's not even considering console numbers, and they're just estimates obviously. But for the fact that these are just mobile numbers and we don't even get the console numbers, you know these numbers are even higher than this, which is ridiculous. Going more into the article itself right here, this is giving you a scale of like how big Genshin is as a game already. Like this game, once again, is only 6 months old and is already rivaling some of the things that have been out for way longer than that and have like some pretty prestige backgrounds. Let's go and talk about this. So the mobile version of Genshin Impact from Mihoyo has surpassed 1 billion in player spending in less than 6 months following its original launch on September 28th, 2020 by the Sensor Tower store intelligence estimates show. The title has a global blockbuster since its release, having generated 874 million in just its first 5 months from the App Store and Google Play. Player spending has remained at an average of approximately 160 million per month since December, and so far in March, the title has accumulated more than 184 million. That puts the game on track for its best month since October, when it picked up 233.7 million on mobile alone. During the last 30 days, Genshin Impact ranked as number 3rd revenue generating title on the App Store and Google Play combined, behind PUBG, Honor of Kings, Tencent, outside of China. However, Mihoyo smash hit has been the number 1 top grossing mobile game, racking up more than 129 million internationally over the past 30 days. This can also make it the number 1 RPG. This is also makes it the number 1 RPG both in and outside of China. Already crushing it as far as the things that is doing as far as the, you know, as far as the company goes. Like, let's look at these numbers right here. Months of first 1 billion in player spending on the App Store, like right here. So it took 6 months. Pokemon Go, one of the biggest household names, you know, Pokemon. If you look at how much money Pokemon as a brand has, it's a lot of money into Pokemon. The fact that this brand new game was able to market itself consistently and it was able to be a free-to-play game and be able to get this amount of revenue, like Pokemon Go, I believe, is a free-to-play game as well. But the fact that it was able to do this from no, like, you know, other sources other than like word of mouth, and of course its own publicity, because obviously Pokemon is a household name by now. It's something that everybody knows, you know, even your grandma or mom knows what a Pikachu is by now. But this game came out of nowhere, and the fact that it was able to do something like this is absolutely amazing. That just shows what great branding and what good word of mouth and also good marketing do for something like this. So yeah, very good in this part. It said it did a couple other things too. During the last 30 days, Genshin Impact ranked as number 3rd. It says number 1 in some other categories too, outside of China. So PUBG, Honor of Kings. I believe Honor of Kings is like this Chinese League of Legends type game. I never heard of it until I looked at it, and I have no idea what Tencent is, but apparently, oh, this is, okay, I see. This is Lineage 2 in Clash Royale. Apparently this game's like very big. I don't know why people play this game. If anybody knows anything about why Clash Royale is such a popular game and why it gets numbers it does, please let me know. I don't see the appeal of the game, but it is a thing that is like, you know, definitely here. So international impact, I think this part is pretty cool too. Few mobile titles have been as successful as Genshin Impact has been in such a short time frame. It has took 2020's top revenue generating title PUBG Mobile just over 16 months to hit its 1 billion in player spending. So it topped that completely in just 6 months after its beginning monetization. While the number 2 grossing game, Honor of Kings, required approximately 18 months to reach its milestone on iOS. Earlier this year, Brawl Stars and Supercell generating its first 1 billion after 2 years is an impressive feat, one that stems from a truly global audience and that is maintained by a substantial investment in new events, features, and characters on top of a rich world and rewarding gameplay experiences. They couldn't do it without that, right? Just letting you know that, of course, they're doing things, they're making events, they're putting new features in the game. People love the characters and they love the world, and that's why they're spending inside of this game so frequently. Now, this is a great article that I want to talk about as well. So this article right here is basically talking about the deconstruction of the game, and this is an article that is done by some like data analyzers, and also this is done by a senior game designer over at Social Point. So very good, deep analysis. This thing is very long. We're not going to go over everything, but I do want to bring up some important points of this and start talking about like where this game came from and exactly how was it made and where we can see this game in the future and like the type of waves that this game is making. Because like I said before in other videos and stuff, this game is always trending. It has the biggest Discord, beating out Minecraft, and like I forget the other one that was beat out, but yeah, it's getting to the point where it's too big, where the devs were not ready for this game to be this big. But let's talk about how they actually did it. Every once in a while, there comes a game that marks the start of an infection point of mobile games. Major tectonic shifts were felt with the launches of Angry Birds, Candy Crush, Clash of Clans, and Clash Royale, to name a few. More recently, and in 2019, it was Arch Hero, which marked the beginnings of hybrid casual movements. The game took the market by storm, found growth opportunities in the current market, and opened industry eyes to a new world of possibilities. In 2020, there is one game that holds similar characteristics, and that is Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is making moves. Genshin Impact is developed by Mihoyo, a Shanghai-based studio best known for the production high-quality free-to-play mobile game title like Honkai Impact 3rd, which is the company's most successful game to date. Genshin Impact rivals top console titles with an estimate of 100 million development plus marketing budget, a 4-year production timeline, and over 300 people working on it. It is available across PC, PS4, mobile, enable crossplay, and a Switch version in the works. That is the level of investment. Genshin Impact leaves a strong first impressions across platforms. It is stunning, beautiful, content-rich, highly engaging, and orally pleasing, which isn't surprising considering the soundtrack was recorded by Shanghai Symphony Orchestra and the London Philharmonic Orchestra, who has done the music of Lord of the Rings trilogy. They also, if I did my research right, they did the soundtrack for God of War as well. So very renowned orchestra that they actually got to do the music for this game. Overall, the game experience truly feels like playing a full-fledged console title on your mobile phone, except it is free to play. And that is the type of feel that they were going for. So with this, we can see, obviously, is made by Mihoyo. They have two different teams. They have the Honkai team. They have the Genshin team. This team that they got for Genshin, this game been in development in 4 years, for 4 years. So that means this game was in development, in the cahoots of like the time that Honkai started being like able to be played. I believe Honkai had its 3rd or 4th anniversary this year. So the fact that this was something that was already thought about, this is like truly a like plan of diversion for these two games. And a lot of people got these theories of these two games supposed to come together to create this Mihoyo verse. And with this game being planned that far ahead, we could definitely see that aspect could definitely be planned. Like they had this in mind for a long time. They had 300 people working on this as they were growing. Mihoyo didn't start off that big. When they started doing their lower projects and stuff, they had a very small team. We'll be talking about that, the history of them, in just a second. So right here, we can see a little bit of a chart. This is basically talking about the amount of income. We were talking about that before. Basically, you know, how much, basically showing you how much this game is making. Genshin Impact early revenue numbers put it on track to be a 1 billion revenue title, like we were saying, which it already got that. So congrats to Mihoyo. So This is basically breaking down what is Mihoyo as a company. What are they? Mihoyo, otakus, and their audience vision. The why of Mihoyo is scrutiny captures the company's mission statement. Tech otaku save the world, and the way we see it, it is the otakus using tech to save the world. Here's what it really means. So it goes into the like otaku nature of like, you know, what otakus are and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure we pretty much all know that if you play anime, watch anime games and stuff like that. This is the original team. For the people who don't know, this is the original team. Just 6 members. I believe that's way in the middle, in the back. But yeah, this is the original team, the original vision. These like college kids just getting out of college and wanting to make games, and that's how they started. This is the lineage right here, as we can see, starting with Fly Me to the Moon. They started in 2011. That's where their first game was actually developed or finished and like published, 2011. Then we have the zombie game, so Zombie Gal Kawaii, and then they made Gun Girl Z, which is like a continuation. That happened in 2014. Honkai Impact 3rd came out in 2016, and of course Genshin Impact in 2020. Man, do you look at this chart, you're like, they truly are trying to advance. Starting off with a basic mobile game for their first one, then enhancing their mobile game format even more in 2012, 2014, enhancing it. Then going to a fully 3D model action RPG game in 2016 with high production animations, high production, like, you know, cutscenes and like voice acting and stuff like that, music, a lot of production going to this game. And it is like, let's take it a step further in Genshin Impact 2020. Now, you may be thinking like, why are they going this hard? Like, why are they doing this? This is what they want to do. This is why they say tech otaku save the world. This motto doesn't just mean something. For the people who don't know, they also have this like virtual YouTuber sort of. Her name is like Lumina. It's like a almost like an Indian and stuff. They're working with that as well. They also have done like other productions for other companies. There's this other game, I believe it's called like Shibuya, that they help make the cutscene for and stuff. So they've done plenty of like tech things outside of like what we know as far as their games and stuff. Let's go a little bit deeper into this though. It says pushing Mihoyo's technological vision to new heights. While Genshin Impact be the first game that most people have heard of from Mihoyo, of course, because it's like their most ambitious project, a lot of eyes are on that. It is definitely not Mihoyo's first. They have been pushing out games, increasing size and complexity since they began in 2011 as an indie studio. The first game, Fly Me to the Moon, launched in 2011 and was an unusual side scroller, while Mihoyo's signature ACG theming, it was followed by Zombie Girl Kawaii in 2012, which inherited the ACG theming and side-scrolling aspects from the first title, but added complexity in terms of control systems and gameplay fidelity. So once again, just talking a little bit more about what we're talking about here, giving you a little bit more of the background. Delivering the console experience across platforms. This is where things start to get interesting. As we mentioned before, Genshin Impact is available across both mobile and console platforms. While the console version of the course looks great, the mobile version looks equally good, and quite frankly, while there are many high production value games on mobile, Genshin Impact mobile experience is arguably the best of the lot. Pulling off such a high quality and graphical fidelity is doing so consistently across all platforms is not easy, and there is definitely a lot of technical wizardry at play behind the scenes, which is audacious in itself. So going a little bit into like, you know, the game development stuff. I don't know where this conference was. Where is this? A slide that was showcased at the hue preserving technique that was created primarily because Genshin Impact art team wanted the fire to look a certain way. Okay, so it's talking about how they like got the fire and stuff to work. So very interesting that they were at this like tech show and stuff like that. So they do these like big shows and stuff, doubling down on omni-channel pre-launch marketing. This is where a lot of their money went. Remember, they spent $100 million. This is a very, very big, ambitious project. You're talking about a company that has like these indie small games right here, and then they go and do a project like this, basically like, you know, using all the equity in this like one big project 4 years down the line after they got money from their other previous titles. This is where all it is. And once again, the social medias are getting very high. 730,000 members in Discord, Twitter 687,000, a lot of following here. Let's get a little bit into this. So let's talk a little bit about their tactics. They realized that people will love to share the truly beautiful game experience they created, and they put the realization to the works by introducing the game to the world through their first official YouTube video, which came out in June 7, 2019, over a year before the actual game launch. As you see, it showcases the same beautiful in-game footage and gameplay ending up its releasing. So this is like the first thing that we saw This came out after the beta test though, so some people were in the beta test, some people already knew about the game, but this is like, you know, to the world, hey, this game's being launched. For the people who haven't heard, this is what they did. And then the other big thing they did was this pre-launch. Now, pre-launches aren't new to gacha games, but the way they did it was pretty good. You know, a lot of free rewards like usual. Reaching these milestones, you get free rewards. They separated the Chinese and global market, and everybody was still able to hit the rewards. And then they had like a share feature, so for people who are talking about the game, you were able to get inside the thing. By the way, for the people who don't know, does not coming at Mihoyo or nothing like this. So one of the rewards right here is invite players, and you get these headphones. I never actually did receive the headphones. I don't know what happened. Maybe they got lost in shipment. It was during pandemic, so I gave them the benefit of the doubt. They never came. But yeah, that's something that happened. A lot of other production things, you know. This is something that's always really cool. Of course, it never really happened in the States, but for the big countries, like where they try to like really do most of their marketing, like if it's a Japanese game, obviously you're gonna see it in Japan and stuff. Even Japan has like a lot of marketing and stuff like this too. We see it in like trains and subways, or these giant like posters and like, you know, Akihabara and stuff like that. A lot of that going on in China and Tokyo and stuff like that, Japan. So pretty cool other marketing. They talk about the other things too, talking about like the open world experience. The first like beta test of that was inside of like their other game, Honkai Impact, for you guys don't know. So this is the first test where they really started to do that. And this is something that I always like, and they talk about this too, is that Mihoyo is just a company that are willing to take risk, but they do the risk in a way to where like they try things out in their other games, see how it like plays out, and then they do it. So obviously they always like to try to make different game modes and stuff. That's why we get a lot of mini games inside of Genshin Impact. They have this like open world mode. Then they have like this open world mode where it's like Devil May Cry style. You know, we get all of these type of things. And then they have like these mini game with the chibis and chibi characters and stuff like that. They do a bunch of things. So the fact that we're seeing that inside of Genshin in another way, just, you know, correlates to like this is what their type of like model style is and like what they try to do. This is another good chart as well, talking about Honkai Impact open world feature, leading to the highest revenue spike of the game's lifetime until that point. So basically, this game was doing good. Look at the huge spike that happens the moment it launches open world. So they realized that like, okay, taking these like calculated risks, doing these type of things, making it a big spectacle event, we can boost the type of money that we get. And like, I don't know what happened right here, but something amazing. Hey, somebody gonna have to let me know what happened in like February of 2019. Somebody gonna have to let me know, because something major happened right there. They got a huge spike. But yeah, we can see like this is the biggest revenue spike they had at that point in the game, which is very good. So they start to see this. Now, this is where the articles start to get a little bit interesting, because they talk about the sort of the downfall of Genshin Impact a little bit, mixing oil with water, right? Obviously, a lot of things that people talk about when it comes to this game is how it was actually marketed. And this is a very good thing. We talk about the loop and like life cycle of games all the time, how it like is continuous loop, right? Like, what is the point of the game? Obviously the point of the game is to like, you know, get more characters, to get more get more currency, to get more characters, to level them up, to basically complete more content in the game, to get more currency, to get more characters, to level up. It's this endless cycle, this endless loop, right? But the thing about it is like the way the game was marketed is in a way that's completely new and risky to all their games, because no other genre has done this. I mean, no other gacha game has done this before, trying to appeal to the broader audience. And so that's where this article is like basically leading into where it's basically stating that like in the long run, this game could potentially just fall down upon its core audience. So maybe just like, you know, the lingering gacha audience, maybe it won't like stay at its peak of like the casual audience or like, you know, broader audience staying with the game. It'll probably at the end, like, you know, 2-3 years down the line, maybe just be the gacha people. But, you know, also this could potentially bring more people to the gacha community, convert them over into other gacha players as well, is what they were basically saying in a lot of this. But it's very interesting article, I really think. And they talk about a lot of things. Once again, just talking about this life cycle of like gacha, how it works, how the story is incorporated, this linear progression and open world and stuff like that. A lot of unique things here. Very, very good. Very in-depth thing. Like I said, we're not going to go over the whole thing. It's a lot here. It even brings in like Zelda and stuff here. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about all of this. Like, do you guys think Genshin Impact is going to be a game that's going to be able to be exciting for the future and stuff like that? I definitely want to see what you guys think. One other thing I do want to talk about is this right here. The Genshin Impact showcase that exciting future for mobile. So let's break this little part down, and we're gonna like give some final thoughts. So even though Genshin Impact suffers from fundamental design issues, Mihoyo achievements with Genshin Impact should be celebrated and is going to push mobile games to the next frontier. So a lot of people are saying that this game is going to basically, you know, be the bar for a lot of other gacha games. Like, this is the bar. The bar is now set up here. These other gacha games are going to come with something special in order to like beat this game, because this is a monster of a game now. Everybody loves it. You know, everybody knows Mihoyo now. People have seen their animations from Honkai. A lot of like Genshin players have been looking into that, probably not playing it, but they admire the animations and like, you know, appreciate the type of quality they are putting into a gacha game that no other company is really bringing. So more specifically, Genshin Impact marks an inflection point for 3 key mobile game trends. Genshin Impact shows the entire game development community that through technological innovation, recreating console-like gaming experiences is possible on mobile. So that is one thing. They're showing that mobile games can be like, you know, console games. We can push mobile games to that point. You know, the thing that someone definitely made me understand a little bit better is this point right here. You know, when we get a new console launch, that console is typically there for about like 6 to 7 years. However, mobile phones are typically updating every year. So the technology and the things that are going to be in them, the processors and stuff, are eventually going to precede even that of a console. That's why even right now, if you're playing on a base model PS4, an actual today's phone, a 2021 phone or 2020 phone, is actually going to run better than the PS4 version of this game. And that's because the technology inside of those phones are constantly developing. That's something we got to keep in mind. So this is something that definitely comes into play. There's a new generation of Chinese game developers brewing, who are poised to create compelling game experiences for both Eastern and Western audience, and traditional AAA experiences will be increasingly free to play in the future. So, you know, free to play as a model with other things actually inside of it, you know, like loot boxes and stuff being inside a thing. Some people don't like it, but it is another good model. You know, as games becoming more free to play, there's also going to be ways to market them and how to get more money out of them and stuff like that. It can be a good thing, and it can allow people to have more access to games, and it could also give developers more freedom of like ways they market their game as far as like certain things. But Mihoyo is also on the lines of like the things that they are marketing are like not cosmetic at the point yet, but like there are a lot of cosmetic things when it comes to Honkai. But it's like, it's the point where like, you know, you don't need these things in order to beat the game. You just want these things. And I think that's always a good thing. When it's not a need, it's just a want. I think that's always a decent way of a model. Thing right here says, second, China has truly become a powerful force to be reckoned with in the game development. What started out as the work of the higher outsourcing studios has blossomed into a full-fledged game development studio capable of creating AAA quality games that resonate with both Eastern and Western audiences. And if Genshin Impact audacious marketing activities tell us anything, it is that these studios are extremely well funded and able to pull off massive scales. With original IP said differently, there is a different generation of Chinese game developers brewing who are poised to create compelling gaming experiences for global audiences. This trend has been growing slowly over the past couple years, and it can be clearly seen in the graph below. So this is percentage of top 100 grossing US revenue contributed from Chinese developers. We can see right here the like the number is constantly rising. It sometimes has like these dips, but it's still an upwards trend. Even it's like, you know, even though you see like dips and things, doesn't mean it's going down. It's constantly going up, even with these slight like dips. And now like you see this huge spike upwards. So it's like even like rising even further. I'm guessing this is like with Genshin Impact at the like forefront of this is going to like definitely increase with the grossing number of US revenue contributed by Chinese developers now. With Genshin Impact is at the forefront of that. So definitely see that. US top grossing games originated from Chinese game developers. It's, you know, talking about some other things like that. Arc Knights. No idea what this game is. AFK Arena. I have no idea why AFK Arena is still like super popular. But yeah, like I said, very, very interesting article. I will put the link down in the description below so you guys can check out the full thing. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Genshin Impact is really setting a new bar? How do you feel overall about, you know, this game's development and the marketing of this game? Do you feel like this is going to be something that other developers are going to have to look into? And how do you feel about their overall production value as like the content that they're doing? I know some people don't feel like the game has content, but That's one thing they were talking about here. It could have been something a little bit different, but once again, it is the first of their kind. They're the one taking the risk. They're the one that's putting the idea out there. This is something that can be worked upon and created better. As we can see, Genshin or Mihoyo is a company that is always transcending their bar. You know, we look at Fly Me to the Moon. This is like their first game. Then they make this other game. Then they make it better. And then they're like, all right, let's take these characters and make it a 3D action game. And then they're like, all right, let's do something. Let's make it open world. They're always setting a new bar for themselves, and they're always making it better. So, you know, Genshin Impact 2 or Honkai 4 that's already been published, or not published, but Honkai 4 that's already been announced, as far as like them registering the IP or whatever. You know, this could be something that they're just pushing the bar again once further. And this could be this setting them, you know, on the front lines of everything once again. Who knows what the next thing is going to be shown. It could be almost like a full-fledged AAA game. This already looking like a AAA mobile game. So I just definitely want to hear you guys' thoughts on what you guys think about this. Definitely think it's interesting. But yeah, just wanted to bring you guys this because I thought it was a very interesting article. And yeah, just let me know down in the comments below. Definitely appreciate it.